for the presentation to come. 'Cause I can't, I don't know. Okay, there we go. All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for coming to the second meeting of the Citizens Advisory Committee to review the annual action plan and approve it to send off to the commission. We are still taking public comment through April 15th, I believe, April 14th. So if anybody has any extra comments after this meeting, feel free to send them to me or Evan. My name is Abby Shelton. I'm the Community Development Director for the City of Owensboro. And you have before you and have received a copy of the minutes. You can review those. We need one more person to show up for formal approval, so we'll just go ahead and move to item 2, which is review of the annual action plan, the 2022-2023 annual action plan. Again, my name's Abby. This is Evan. He's the Housing and Grant Coordinator for the city. Yay, I'm an employee, so happy about that. We administer the City HUD entitlement grants, CDBG Community Development Block Grant, and Home Partnership Program funds. We do also, as needed, administer other federal grants for the city, local economic development grants, and then the historic preservation. We are support staff for the Historic Preservation Board, along with Owensboro Metropolitan Planning Commission. So we are in the second year of an NRSA Neighborhood Revitalization Strategy area, and it is a designation established by the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development in 1995. In order to be approved, the proposed NRSA must be a contiguous area primarily zoned for residential use, which is the purpose of creating the Northwest NRSA. We have had successful NRSAs in the past, totaling about $35 million in Baptisttown, Old Germantown, Mechanicsville, and Triplet Twist. With everything that we do through the HUD grants, we rely on the income limits to administer those funds, and those are put out every year by HUD. We have not received the fiscal year 2022 income limits as of yet, so these are current. A single-person household that is 80% LMI, which is the deciding factor as to whether or not they can participate in our programming, is $36,050. And you can see if you go up in the house of persons in the family, $68,000 is the max for an 8-person household. The Northwest NRSA boundaries are in front of you. They loosely go from Walnut Street on the east to Ewing Road on the west, north of the municipal boundaries, and then the north side of 5th Street on the south. In 2019, and I have not gotten updated numbers from PVA as of yet, but there were 1,083 parcels, which I know have changed. it's bound to happen, but the reason for this is to show that the majority of those parcels are single family. The history of the NRSA, it has Irish descent. There were a lot of meatpacking activities in that area, of course, distilleries, and it was the site for the first fairground. There's somebody cleaning the windows, I'm sorry. We did do a survey to see what people wanted to rename, mainly the area from areas around 1st and 2nd Street towards the river, and that is the new logo that was voted on, and we will be using that for pole banners and then maybe some neighborhood signage around the area. This is not an updated map because we do have more. We have 133 projects right now. I'll get into that later, but this shows the different kinds of projects that we have in the area, and it's a good scattering around the NRSA, and you'll see that lower left-hand side is a little bit more scarce, and that's because it's mostly commercial and or industrial. And this is just an idea of what we expect to have invested in the Northwest NRSA by 2025. And as you can see, at the very bottom, we have actually surpassed our banner of $7.4 million, and it is now currently $8.8 million, and I'll get into the projects in a little bit. And the good thing about that is about half of it is public and half of it is private, so it's a good return on our investment. So Northwest projects to date, we have 50 existing homeowner exterior rehab apps, 3 down payment assistance apps, 8 commercial facade projects, 7 single-family new builds, 2 private projects that have opted to not participate in the program, but they initially applied. 49 rental rehab projects, 12 single-family rehab, and 2 single-family demos. I didn't update these numbers, but we do now have 133 projects, and you can see the breakdown of the funding on your right. So our federal funding outlay, we have not received any word of what the THUD bill will give us as far as an allocation. So we assume that we'll get somewhere around $250,000. Saying as it was said that the projection is to go up, our allocation should go up, but I'll believe it when I see it. Come on, Amari, it's okay. Thanks for the email. So we are now in an annual action plan cycle. Obviously, we do it every year. We reference the consolidated plan, and then obviously it's citizen input driven. We don't do anything without the blessing of the public and the committee. So our 2022-2023 Home Partnership Program funding, we estimate around $250,000 for our 2022 budget, and we take those funds and distribute them to a down payment assistance program, community housing development organization, partnership, home build developer, which is where we partnership with Habitat for Humanity for their single family builds, and we also do our own new builds. We do take some home administration funds and supplement the general fund budget to ease the cost of our department, and then we do home buyer education. So that totals about $250,000. And we have scattered site new builds that we're going to do. Hopefully we'll have 3 of them this upcoming year. Scattered site with Habitat, we have 2, one that we're about to sign a deed over to, and then one that we're looking at acquiring. And then we do a 10% down payment assistance, which if word gets out, I've had some awesome help from the realtors and the mortgage brokers who are helping applicants fill out the paperwork, so that's great. And then home buyer education. So we have some new builds, 1013 West 8th Street, that's a finished product with Habitat before and after. That was 3 parcels that we demolished, and there's a family of 5 living there now. 1421 Jackson Street, it now has siding, and they're doing interior work. 1426 Jackson Street, across the street, and it's a partnership with Owensboro Area Affordable Housing Solutions. 618 Elm Street is our new build, and if you'll see, there's actually going to be, two parcels where that church is going to be a Habitat build, and they actually have already started laying out the sight lines. And then we have our community development block grant funds, which we anticipate $450,000 to be split between existing homeowner exterior rehab. We will be bidding out our downspout removal hopefully in the next 2 months. And I can't remember, it's like 140, 130 addresses. Yeah. Some beautification measures, safety measures. We do take some admin, and then we will have commercial funds available. So we have our commercial facade grant, $15,000 with a 25% match. Existing homeowner rehab is a $15,000 grant with a sliding scale. As you can see, we refer back to that income guideline document. And if you're between 0 and 30, you pay 5%. If you're over, you pay 40%. But everybody's eligible in the Northwest NRSA for that grant. And then we are anticipating embarking on landscape design improvements on First Street between Walnut and Hanning. We will be doing intersection upgrades over there, and hopefully a little bit of lighting, and quite possibly looking at underground utilities in that area. So it'll be a nice facelift for that part of the NRSA. And these are just renderings that were sent to us, but we have engaged a landscape architect to go ahead and start putting those plans together for us so we can go out to bid. So we do have a local funding outlay that I've discussed earlier. Community Catalyst grants in the amount of $750,000 for single-family new builds, single-family rehabs, rental rehabs, and demolition. That's a new build on 76 Woodford Avenue. We have 112 Sycamore. That's a single-family rehab. He has the house, I don't know if I put that in here. He has the house actually at 114 Sycamore, which is next door, that he's working on flipping as well. And then 1532 Her Avenue, before and after. This one actually, this is a neat story. The Sharia Wagner flipped this house, put it on the market, and then I got an app for a first-time home buyer down payment assistance for this location. So she's under contract, and looks like it's going to work out. We do have, I'm going to throw this in here, and even though we don't really have to vote on this, the Home ARP funding, which is part of the American Rescue Plan Act, we'll have to do a substantial amendment to the 2021 plan. We anticipate in getting a little over $1 million, and it has to go to affordable housing and services for the homeless, people at risk of homelessness, persons fleeing domestic violence, and other vulnerable populations. And we've already completed a homeless needs assessment for Owensboro and Davis County, which the county actually partnered on with us and split the cost. And basically, the report said we need affordable housing and 20 new homeless beds. But really hit home that we do have to focus on varied options for affordable housing. And you can read that at owensboro.org, and at the very bottom left-hand side there's a Home ARP button that you can click, and it can take you to the page, and then you can read the report there. We will have a public meeting before any plan is put together, focus group, and then we are in the midst of collecting public input on the Home ARP allocation plan, and you can access the survey through that link and online through the city's webpage. And then we'll make a plan based on all that information. So April 19th, I'll do an overview to the City Commission and present municipal order approving the plan, and then submit the plan on May 13th to HUD. And that's all I have. Do you guys have any questions? Comments, concerns? It's kind of repetitive, but you hear it every twice every year, same presentation. So now that Mario's here, we can go ahead and approve the minutes from February 24th, 2022. Do I have a motion to approve? Thank you, Bruce. Thank you, Ann. Is there any discussion, any changes that need to be made to them? All right, all in favor of approval of the minutes signify by the sign of aye. All right, thank you very much. Does the audience have any comments they'd like to make? Thank you for attending. All right, so we will have a motion to approve the annual action plan to send to the City Commission with any public comments that have been received. Anybody want to make the motion? Thank you. Thank you, Joanne. Second? Mario, thank you. All right, any other discussion about the plan? All right, everybody in approval of the annual action plan for 2022-2023 signify by the sign of aye. Thank you. All right, I don't have anything else to offer. Carol, thank you for coming. She's the Fresh Start director. Is that right? On the board, yeah. She runs the show. Don't be meek. But she actually partnered with us, allowed us to partner with her, I should say, on a commercial facade grant for their facility. So they got new stairs and makes the apartment complex safer. So thank you for doing that, and thank you for coming today. All right, I have nothing else. Move for adjournment. So Joanne, all right. Well, we will adjourn by proclamation. Thank you so much, everybody.